okay, I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to say it the best that I can. It is possible we have a full-blown quarterback controversy in Austin this year.
Okay. Elaborate. Cook.
Like, I don't know. Like, so Quinn Ewers is questionable this weekend. I don't know why you would play him. They are 40-point favorites.
Because you're afraid of General Booty? That's the only reason.
So the only reason why you would probably rush to play him from his abdomen strain is to avoid what I'm talking about here, right? You want him to come back in, take control of this team. But like, what if Arch Manning comes out again and looks exactly as good as he did last weekend? Sorry. And it is a discussion. I've just seen a lot of people talking about, like, I'm not saying that Quinn Ewers will or should get benched, but like, it's going to potentially be a topic, which is going to be wildly entertaining. Is this nuts?
It is not nuts, Ari. It's not. I think it's actually a fairly reasonable take. And look, we have said, and I think Sarkisian has handled this really well so far. I think Arch has handled it well, and I think Quinn has handled it well. But yes, it is inevitable that if Arch is really good, it is going to be very difficult to decide what to do, whether everybody admits that or not. Now, I think the plan is go back to Quinn no matter what. And I think they're going to try to do that. But if Arch is what you think to be better than Quinn, well, your job is to give your team the best chance to win. And so we've seen this before, but it's been a situation where it has been obvious. The Trevor Lawrence, Kelly Bryant thing at Clemson is probably the closest thing, because that was a team that was coming off a season where they went 12-1. Then they lost to Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, but they were the number 1 seed going into the playoff. And then they came back and they had a loaded team coming back, national title expectations. And Dabo made the switch after game 4. And Trevor became the starter.
The difference in this case, though, is that Quinn Ewers is much better than Kelly Bryant was in that scenario.
So, like Kelly Bryant, correct. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I'm in no way saying that I think they're going to make a change at quarterback if he's healthy. I'm not even saying that Sarkisian is going to think it's a controversy. I'm saying it's going to be a discussion point at some point if Arch Manning plays 2 more games and is awesome in both of those games. Because, like, the thing with Quinn has been, it's been a kind of a slow burn with him. Now, what we saw when we saw him in person at Michigan shows that he's playing at the highest level of his career so far. But Quinn Ewers didn't step onto the field, as the number 1 overall player in the country as a recruit and instantly become a star. Like, we have waited for him to develop in front of our eyes. We've waited for his production to get to the point that it seems like it's at right now. But he has been injured quite a bit in his career, and I feel like that stopped him from reaching the apex that he's gotten to. It stopped him from getting there sooner. But if Arch Manning comes out and, I mean, like, he could not have been more efficient in the game on Saturday against UTSA. And I understand they're playing a bad team, but, like, people are saying that his top end speed was like as fast as Tyreek Hill. Like, people are, like, talking about this a lot. I'm seeing a lot of Arch discussion on Twitter. If you go Google Arch Manning's name right now and look at the headlines, like, I'm just saying it's within the realm of possibility that, like, we are talking about this in November.
Well, we're going to talk about it. That's not really the issue. Like, there's a reason Archmania are the first 2 words of the headline of this broadcast. You got Jayden Daniels as he wins the Heisman Trophy. You got Livvy Dunne as she blows up. You've got Angel Reese defending the national title, getting ready to go to the WNBA. And then all of their dealings with NIL, which is obviously a really new thing, and all of them trying to learn how to deal with it as they go. I found it so interesting. 6-part series. All the episodes are available now. If you want to watch it, go to the link in the show description of this YouTube video that you're watching. Click that link. If you're a Prime Video subscriber, it'll just take you right there and you can watch. If you are not a Prime Video subscriber, well, now's your chance to get signed up. You would also get, obviously, Thursday night NFL games. You get the Rings of Power if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. If you're a nerd like me, you got to watch that. Ari doesn't like that stuff. He's wrong. But you could also see the Roadhouse remake, which is fantastic. So lots of great stuff on Prime Video. The money game is available on that link in the show description. Just click it. It'll take you right there. And for this audience, it's right in the wheelhouse. All the stuff we talk about with NIL really takes you deep inside. Because that's what people search for. People search for Arch. People want to talk about Arch.
Is there anything that Arch could do for you to think he should be the starter?
Play better than Quinn Ewers. And that's what I'm saying. Like, whether or not we think it should happen, or whether, if you think we're doing this just to talk about Arch Manning more, if Arch Manning plays better in his starts than Quinn Ewers has played in his starts, if you are Steve Sarkisian, you actually have a fiduciary duty to go, what should I do here? Now, the answer still may be you start Quinn because he's the older one, he's the veteran, he's been through some stuff, and you feel like he can win you a national title. But Steve Sarkisian's job is to start the quarterback he thinks will win him a national title. Right now, it's still very easy. Right now, it's still Quinn. As you're saying, and I agree with you on this, 2 starts from now, if let's say Quinn Ewers, his abdominal strain is painful, and you don't want to risk it, and you want to make sure he's healthy for Oklahoma.
Just let him heal properly. Like, what's the point of rushing him back the next 2 weeks?
Exactly. So if you don't rush him back and Arch Manning plays lights out, then yes, as Steve Sarkisian, you have to make that decision, and it will not be as easy a decision as it seems right now. And then the other part of it is, let's say you do bring Quinn back and make him the starter. In the back of your mind, any little thing that goes wrong, you're gonna be like, well, I got this other guy. So it's, I'm talking about it like it's a problem. It's the best problem to have. Like, think about all the teams that wish they had a quarterback. Imagine you're Michigan right now. Like, the Michigan people are so jealous of this conversation right now.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan would probably be really good if they had either of these guys. You're coming to Dallas on October 12th. You're staying in my house. We're going to have a really wonderful day there.
It's going to be amazing.
The high holidays. But we are covering the Texas-Oklahoma game. We're covering Red River. Do you think it is possible, or do you think it will happen, that you and I are talking about this that week?
Yes. I think there's a very good chance of that. And look, that's a rivalry where we've seen some stuff like this happen before. Lest we forget, Caleb Williams replaced Spencer Rattler in the middle of a Texas-Oklahoma game. Like, these things happen.
So, everybody's like, I think I saw some comments in there like, this guy's an idiot, like, get him out of here. Like, I'm not saying that I think that Arch should start already if Quinn's healthy. All I'm saying is we are in a position with the way that this is setting up. You have an injured quarterback who was on my Heisman list already. Like, Quinn Ewers is really good, but he should not play probably if he's not 100% healthy the next 2 weeks, because there's no reason to risk it. And in that sliver of time, 2 starts for a quarterback that looked absolutely flawless in his time against UTSA. A lot can happen in the sport in 2 weeks. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, you're not trying to foment discord here. This is the truth. And it goes back to what I just said. Steve Sarkisian's job is to start the best quarterback. It is not to take care of everybody's feelings the best. It is to play the person he thinks will give the Texas Longhorns the best chance to win a national title. And as long as he thinks that's Quinn Ewers, that's who he's going to play.
And let me ask you this way. If Arch plays and looks identical or as good as he did against UTSA for 2 full games, 2 weeks in a row, one of which against an SEC opponent, would you question whether he is actually better than Quinn at that point? Like,
if I'm Steve Sarkisian, yes.
What I'm asking you, though, what would you think?
Yes, I would. Yeah. If he looks like that again and again. Now, look, ULM is not going to challenge them very much. Given what we saw from Mississippi State last week, there's a chance they don't challenge them very much either. So what you'll have in the back of your head if you're Sark is, I've seen Quinn do this against Oklahoma. I've seen Quinn do this against Michigan. I've seen Quinn do this against Alabama. And I think that probably carries the day at that point. So it's not as hard as we're making it out to be because of those circumstances. But again, if he's perfect through these next couple games, if he's as good as he was against UTSA, it will be in the back of your mind. Let's say you go back to Quinn for the Oklahoma game, where if one or two things goes wrong, you're like, well, I'm gonna keep this in my back pocket because I may have to play this card.
Andy, let me put this comment up here. Tyler Osborne in the chat. The Quinn slander is insane. Dude is the only reason Texas is where it is today. I wish he would leave because most Texas fans don't appreciate nor deserve him. First of all, I don't think that's true. Like, I think we've done a lot of appreciating.
It's completely incorrect. I mean,
yeah,
that comment alone is Kelvin Banks slander. Like, you realize there are other people on that team
Xavier
that have a lot to do. Yeah. That have a lot to do with where they are right now.
But I do want to say that Quinn did come to Texas at a time in which people thought it was the butt of a joke. And Quinn is now leading a Texas team that not only made the playoff last year, was probably one or two passes away from playing for a national title a year ago, and is now my number one team in the country. And there's no forgetting that he has played a large part in building this program. The quarterback is always going to get the brunt of the criticism and is always going to get the brunt of the praise. So, like, we're going to give it to him. And this isn't a Quinn Ewers stakes discussion. This is a Arch Manning is awesome and people are going to let their minds run crazy discussion. Like, nobody is saying Quinn's not good here. And if that's what you're taking away from this, and you're not listening to what we're saying.
Yeah, the circumstances are what they are. It could make for an unpleasant. Yeah, it could make for an unpleasant decision, but it's a good problem to have. Again, you got two good quarterbacks at Texas. It's a great problem to have that most.
And you almost probably feel like Steve Sarkisian wishes they were playing a really good team the next 2 weeks now instead of later with the way this is setting up.
It would make this easier.
But if you're not going to play him in these games and you're giving more runway for Archmania to go off the rails here, you know how this works. I've been around the block a few times and I've seen some pretty intense quarterback competitions in my life and covered them. So, like, it's just a take, and it might be really fiery. I don't know how you're going to rank them, but it's a take for the Saucy Take Show.